Good morning, friends. This is Jelly Bean. Stay tuned because morning inspiration with friends is about to start. Grab your coffee or tea and tune in as my mommy inspires you. I'm going back to sleep, but you enjoy the message.
I love that video. Good morning, everyone. It's your girl Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration here with another message. Today's going to be a quick message, but this message was really inspired by a post that I saw 3 a.m. this morning. But before we tune into that, you probably noticed something, especially if you're on YouTube. You probably noticed like products down there. So we have finally, we got some new merch. We got some new t-shirts, right? Hoodies start with inspiration, morning inspiration with friends. I did not put this shirt on this morning, but I will. Probably tomorrow morning when I remember. But yeah, so if you are interested and you would like to grab your merch and be a part of the Morning Inspiration Friends, whether you are watching live or on the replay, please make sure that you use the code FRIEND so that you can get free shipping. Yes, I know we all like free stuff, right? For my Facebook people, give me 1 second. Let me put this link so you can also get this. And again, don't be afraid to use code FRIEND so that you can get free shipping. The shipping is like $6.99, I think. So who wouldn't want to save a couple of bucks instead of having to pay $6.99? And we have hoodies, different color hoodies, like blue, purple, royal blue, of course, black. Um, but we have quite a few colors. Same thing with t-shirts. You can get hoodies and t-shirts and extra sizes, so like extra large, and up to like 3X and things of that nature. So please support the channel. That's the easy way to support the channel. If it's something that you're looking for, something that you're interested in, Facebook, you should all see it now. So if not, you can also go to my link tree. My link tree is on my profile, and you can go right there. Again, use code FRIEND so that you can get free shipping on anything that you purchase. And I also have like other stuff on there still that we had used previously. So I saw a post. Let me find the post. So I found the post this morning, and it was basically a girl was sharing a story about God really be protecting us. So he be trying to protect us. So I'm gonna just sum it up for y'all. So this lady met this guy recently on LinkedIn. Different. They started talking, everything was going smoothly. Turns out he just visited my city and would be around for a couple more days. As expected, we agreed to meet up. I talked with my older sister about meeting someone online and we'll be going on a date. Even agreed on me sharing my location with her. On the agreed date, I felt so uneasy about everything and I ghosted him. Pay attention to that. This guy finally returned to his town and we stopped communicating. About 2 weeks later, I woke up to one morning and I sent a message to apologize, to give him closure. Turns out he will be traveling to my city again the following day. Yep, you guessed right. We set up another time to meet. This time we even agreed on location. However, it started raining 2 hours to the time and ended 3 hours later. It didn't just rain cats and dogs. It rained elephants and giraffes. The end result was the man was married. He was married. And she did. She had asked him like eventually, like it was like she just didn't realize how many times God was trying to put a block, right? He was trying to send her that one. And look, let me tell you about them gut feelings. Them gut feelings, they tell you a lot. They scream at you. Okay. And so I have had experiences like that in my past. When I now reflect on those moments, I tell anyone if you ever are in a situation, you're about to do something, about to go somewhere, and you just get this horrible, uneasy feeling in your gut, that is your gut telling you to pack up your stuff and run away. It is not butterflies. That is not a good thing. That is God trying to warn you. And He is going to try to warn you through discomfort. That is an uncomfortable feeling. To have that feeling like you're about to poop just out of nowhere because of this interaction, that is a warning, right? And so the part that of her story that I found so intriguing was that she woke up a few days or 2 weeks later and she's like, I want to send him a message and give him closure. And then this man is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be in your town tomorrow. So this was like 2 weeks of no communication. You opened up that door again. Like you was like, hey, let me at least, because and in her mind, she probably thought I was getting closure. No, you was trying to see what else is gonna happen. And I'm telling you, right? That emotional unrest, that frustration, that gut feeling, the intuition, that is sometimes God just giving you a warning, right? Now, sometimes you are going to get what you want, right? Sometimes God is going to have to let things happen because you're hard-headed. Like, we could be so hard-headed sometimes. So, yes, sometimes you are going to get what you want despite, right? I look at my ex, the ex-boyfriend, that when the day he asked me to be his girlfriend, my gut was like, and I stayed in that relationship for 2 years. And literally, I should have left after the first miscarriage. Well, we only had one miscarriage, but my first miscarriage, I should have left then because and then I stayed, and then God just kept on opening up doors for me to see the true person that I was in a relationship with, right? So God is going to let you touch these things. He's going to let you have access to them, so it will stop you from chasing it eventually. Because you got to get to a point where you're looking at yourself and realizing this is not what I want, right? This is not what I really want. And sometimes it does take a really long time for us to get to that point. Like I say, for me, I should have never found out everything that I found out about my ex. I should have never found out. I should have left. I was so unhappy in that relationship that I didn't even need to stay for 2 years. But I stayed. And guess what? That has shown me when my gut is telling me no to leave, when I am blatantly being disrespected, disregard, walk away, right? Because again, 2 weeks of no communication, that right there tells me enough, right? You might give one person a slot, maybe one time, but continue, we can't do that. We can't do that. And with this particular young lady that I saw on Threads, like they actually never got to meet. They were never able to even do a video chat because like her camera wasn't working, his camera, it was just like one of those weird catfish moments when, like, if you watch Catfish, you probably heard, but like Neve used to say typical catfish behavior when their cameras are not working. But at that time, both of their cameras were not working. That was God working overtime. Like, he didn't even want her to have to even go through this process. And at the end of the day, it was because this man was married, and she was like, I'm not trying to deal with no married man. Like, that is something that we have to understand. And then the last thing is that your obedience is going to protect you. Like, when this is the reason why, if you read my book, which I did not put up there, but if you read my book, Dear Single in Love, that book in chapter 4, I believe, one of the questions that we can go to God in prayer about is, did you send this person into my life? Now, many people will start thinking like, well, why would I want to, ask God that? Because one, every person is not going to be your husband or wife. Some people are going to be sent into your life to be a blessing. So before we even get to the question, is this my husband or wife? If we pray and say, hey God, did you send this person into my life? That is going to help you to start to prepare for the relationship or the partnership, the friendship, associate that is going to happen. And now you're not going to close the door that is actually meant to open. Doesn't mean it's going to be your person, right? But when you start listening to what God is telling you to do, you really do start living your life in a different manner. Like it just hits so different. Like you're not the same person. And you are probably going to be in a group of people where they feel like, well, wow, like how come she not doing things like that anymore? Like she used to do this and she used to do that. Because now you are obedient. Now you're not operating off of desperation. You're not just eager to just have somebody, just to say you have somebody. Like, no, you're just literally saying, I'm just going to continue to do what God is telling me to do. Because if every time, and this is the best example I can give. So whenever I come out of my building, when I'm in New York, when I used to go to work, every time that I would leave the building, I would typically walk out and go to my right. Right? That was the train station that I preferred to go to. Because my block was in the middle of two train stations. So I always had a choice. And either way, I had to walk the same distance to both train stations. So I normally will walk out right. And one morning, I remember God told me to go left. I didn't question it. Now, the old Tanisha, the Tanisha before walking with God, yes, I would have been in having 50,000 questions. I would have been standing outside my building looking crazy. But I went left because I was being obedient and I was blessed multiple times because God aligned me with the people that I needed to hear messages with. See, sometimes we think, oh, God wants me to meet people because those people are going to be the ones that's going to change my life. These people just only needed to cross paths with me to give me the message that God needed for them to give me. And that was it. Nothing more, nothing less. But if I would have gone right, I would have had no interaction with that. I would have never experienced that. So this is why I say we really can't ignore those signals, those warnings, because you don't know if it's going to block you from receiving confirmation that you need, that, it could be a blessing, it could be an opportunity, it could be a new door that's opening up. You don't know. So you have to really get into that space of just being obedient and forgetting about the logic. You're not logical. Throw it out the window. Right? You're not logical. Throw it out the window. But don't ignore these things. When you get that gut feeling, trust it. When somebody gives you like exciting news, so I can share this now. A couple of weeks ago, I had taken this position, accepted this part-time position. When they told me, I got the email, there was no excitement. I was just like, oh, okay. It was just like one of those feelings, and like my gut was telling me, this ain't it, Tanisha. And I didn't listen. And yeah, I figured out by like the first week, yeah, this was not for me, and I had to walk away. Recently, I got offered a part-time position. And I was just so like, it wasn't like I was like ecstatic. It was just like, wow, like, yeah, I'm really interested in this. Even when I was because I had to do an in-person interview. Even when I did the interview, it just felt right. Like I felt at ease. I felt like I did. Let me tell you, I felt like I did back in 2018. When I took the job, the part-time job, you heard me talk about a couple of times. I worked at, it was for a women's workforce program. I felt similar to that. It just felt so organic. It felt like I belonged there. My body gave me this excitement versus, and that's what you should be paying attention to. Because a lot of times your body, God is going to speak to you through your body because he understands you might not be able to hear any other way. So until you build that relationship, it is going to have a lot to do with how does my body feel in this situation? Do I feel uneasy? So you got to separate nervousness versus God saying no. Because we can't confuse being nervous with, oh my gosh, this is absolutely no. No. Nervous is absolutely normal. But you should not be feeling any other type of way besides, yes. Right? So I'm gonna share down in the comments on YouTube. I did a video and I spoke about human design, and that is going to give you a little bit more insight. But I just really wanted to share that because, like I said, so often I know that people are not recognizing, they're not paying attention to these signs. They're not believing that God is protecting them. And so when they end up in these situations, everyone is the problem. The devil is coming after me. And sometimes God is just like, I've been trying to give you all the warnings. I kept giving you a no. I kept shutting it down. Like I made it rain for hours. Like he will typically do things like that because he has to protect you. You don't know, like, I want us to get to a space where we start realizing just how valuable we are, just how incredible you are, and how precious you are to God. So he wants to protect all of us. And yes, there are children out there of his that he knows is up to no good. And this man and that lady's example, this man was a whole married man out here trying to creep and sneak and get somebody caught up in his nonsense that they didn't sign up for. And luckily, God blocked it, and luckily she stopped knocking. She stopped forcing because it was not in alignment. And that is the lesson for today. Stop forcing what is not aligned for you. And ask God, what is for me? And ask him to align you with that. I am your girl, Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration. Go ahead, get your merch. Hit up my link tree. The class, Google Workspace. I am still offering the opportunity for people to join the class. I will also put down in the description how you can get access to the recording for week 1, and then you can join weeks 2, 3, and 4 for a very low price. So definitely look for that down below. But I am your girl, Tanisha Shanae. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you all tomorrow, okay?
Man, that was another great message, Tanisha. Listen, friends, if you are not watching Morning Inspiration with Friends with Tanisha, then you are missing out. Hit that subscribe button and even share with a friend because this is the best way to start your morning. Check Tanisha out every Monday through Friday around 7 a.m. CT time. You will not be disappointed.